tank. He do that setting traps. It's crazy the power that he believes in. And a great chin too. So he was guy. He'll let you get out punches, and he'll still be coming at you. And then once he hits you, it's a wrap.
Greats. Crawford's one of the best switch hitters, I think, since Marvin Hagler, and one of the most skillful boxers alive.
He has very good skills. He's one of my favorite boxers. He able to win this fight.
Errol Spence was amazed by Terence Crawford's training for the Canelo fight. After facing Crawford in the ring, Spence already knew how smart and skilled he is. But this time, Crawford looked even faster, sharper, and more focused. His footwork, speed, and precision were on another level. Spence said this version of Crawford is a serious threat, and Canelo should not underestimate him.
Yeah. Right here, roll.
After his fight with Spence, Crawford showed mutual respect. Known for his smart and calm fighting style, Crawford explained how he slowly breaks down his opponents before attacking with powerful combinations.
How hard does Spence hit?
He didn't hit that hard.
But he never caught you that clean. That was probably the best shot he landed.
No, he caught me a couple of times, but I was surprised at how hard he didn't hit.
Really?
Given that everybody say, oh, he's a big puncher, he's this. I think he's just a volume puncher. I think he just wears opponents down. Just wear them down. I don't think, he has a one-punch knockout. He have power, but it's not like, boom, sleep. I think it's like, bam, oh, boom, 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 boom. And then he just wear you down.
Right, yeah. That is a difference, right?
Because if you look at his career, you never seen him, knock nobody out with one punch. You never see him, dropping nobody with one punch. You always see him, wearing them down. That's why he goes so hard to the body, because he want to wear you down. Then once you get tired and once your body start weakening, everything started weakening. And those little punches that wasn't hurting start hurting.
Former world champion and analyst Chris Algieri gave his opinion about Crawford and Canelo. He said Crawford always dominates and controls the fight, while Canelo has had moments where he looked overwhelmed, especially in his loss to Dimitri Bivol. Bivol used his jab, size, and discipline to control the fight. Algieri believes Crawford's style, based on control and adaptability, could also give Canelo big problems.
And Terence Crawford, who do you think can be the boss that night? When you talk about these two guys, you talk about two guys. Number one, you can't boss me around.
Yep.
Two guys, you can't even look at me a certain way without me feeling some type of way. These guys now have set their sights on one another. Crawford and Canelo Alvarez. Obviously, we know the weight difference, but we've seen Crawford looks like he's coming up slowly to that weight class and kind of acclimating himself in real time. How do you see that fight playing out?
We're still pretty far away from that fight, and I'm going to hold my complete analytics on that. But I'll tell you this.
Contrast and compare, maybe not a pick.
But I'll tell you this. I've seen Canelo pushed around. I've never seen Terence pushed around. So if you're talking about who's going to be the boss, I've never seen anyone boss Terence Crawford. I've seen Canelo get bossed. So that just psychologically, when you think about that, and this is a fight where I flip-flop on both guys because there's so many good points. Yeah, but he's 168. Yeah, but it's Terence Crawford. He's undefeated. Well, yeah, no, this guy's beating this, but stylistic. Even he hits him on the arm. There's so many different things you can talk about. But from a psychological standpoint, who's fresher, who's meaner, who wants it more? That's going to come into play.
As a boxing fan, how much fun is it to see those two attitudes come together? It's kind of like the unstoppable force versus the immovable object getting ready to collide.
I've worked a lot of Canelo fights. The Canelo fight weeks are great. He plays to the crowd really well. His fans are awesome. I'm thinking about the Caleb Plant situation. I'm thinking about the Billy's Joe Saunders situation. When he gets that in his head that he's got an extra chip, he becomes a really dangerous man.
Veteran commentator Max Kellerman gave a balanced analysis. He said both fighters are great, but Crawford has looked better recently. Crawford's timing, ability to switch stances, and knockout power have improved. Meanwhile, Canelo seems to be slowing down in movement and aggression. Though Canelo has a size advantage, Kellerman still believes Crawford is the more complete and sharper fighter right now.
Counterpunching. But overall, I have to say Crawford. If you go down the list and ask me about tactical advantages, most of them are Crawford. What Canelo has is size, and as a result, physical strength and punching power. Canelo also has a great chin. But in terms of, if you want to go skill for skill, especially the recent version of Canelo, who's had to turn into a seek and destroy guy, who had to learn as his career went on to cut off the ring and not just follow guys around. Like Lara, Trout, Floyd, he followed those guys around. He had trouble because he's really a natural counterpuncher who wants you to come to him. But in recent years at super middleweight, he's gotten really good at cutting off the ring. Again, last fight notwithstanding. So as an overall suite of skills, recent vintage, it's been Crawford.
Okay.
But Canelo also is skilled and has a larger skeleton than Crawford. No matter what they weigh, Canelo's the bigger guay.
Yeah. You briefly mentioned Canelo's power, so who I would assume Canelo has the
You have to think, unless Crawford, Crawford was on a knockout streak until he moved up to junior middleweight and then failed to stop Madrimov. So, and Canelo, though he has not stopped anyone in a while, we've seen he's a real puncher at 68.
As far as speed, who has a better speed?
You would imagine Crawford, given the fact that he is the naturally smaller fighter.
This big fight is very interesting. Crawford is moving up in weight, which can affect speed and stamina. On the other hand, Canelo isn't as explosive as he used to be. In his recent fights, Canelo prefers to control the pace instead of going for knockouts. That makes things more even. If Crawford uses his speed, footwork, and ring IQ, he has a clear path to victory.
For Canelo, obviously at 168, he has been a bit of the smaller man at that weight class. And in the last couple of years has had trouble finishing opponents and getting guys out of there like he would have at 160 or 154. So you have a bit of a duality there. Both guys coming into this fight in the, let's say, twilight of their careers, or maybe twilight of their, I think 35. Terrence is 38. So you have a similar struggles for both fighters, but when you look at who has to do more in this fight, it's clearly Terrence Crawford as far as what he's giving up and sacrificing to win this third undisputed championship and to try to beat Canelo, who has only been beat Mayweather being slick and tagging Canelo with counter. Canelo missed being the smaller, lighter fighter and up there in age that was still able to take advantage of the youth and experience of Canelo Alvarez, but also just being a defensive maestro and able to counter off of that. Floyd is one of one. And then you have Dimitri Bivol, who was the bigger fighter, and the things that Canelo does very well didn't really. The things that had carried Canelo up in division was his power and the ability to break an opponent down, maybe not stopping them in the early to mid part of fight.
Young rising boxer Abdullah Mason is confident that Crawford will win and surprise many fans. People often think Canelo is stronger because of his size, but Mason believes Crawford's power comes from timing, angles, and accuracy. If Crawford lands clean shots, especially in the later rounds, the fight could swing in his favor.
Also, Canelo Crawford, your prediction quickly.
Canelo Crawford. I got faith that Crawford could take it. Crawford. I feel like Crawford, he might surprise some people with his strength. So it all depends on who's the better fighter that night.
Dimitri Bivol, the man who beat Canelo, praised Crawford. He said Crawford has gained muscle and has all the tools needed to win. Bivol knows what it takes to beat Canelo and believes Crawford can do it. He highlighted Crawford's speed, discipline, and intelligence.
Him in Dubai maybe a month ago, I saw him. He's big, and he has very good skills. He's one of my favorite boxers. He able to win this fight. But there is a lot of but, and even not but, there is a lot of things, small things, which we don't know how he will deal with this. He need to get used to the power and pressure of 168. Because it's big difference, to be honest. Maybe he will get used to it, and how he will be feeling himself at the same day when he will fighting, how his training camp will go on, a lot of things. But he's able. He has good skills. He's awkward. He can use two boxing stance. It gives him benefits, of course.
I was at that same event in Dubai just before Christmas, and I saw him too, and I thought exactly the same thing, which is that he is quite big.
Yeah.
Size obviously is important. Jermell Charlo stepped up from super welterweight to super middleweight to box Canelo, and it didn't work at all for him. But Crawford is, I mean, he's one of the best fighters in the world, isn't he? I mean, obviously
Keith Thurman gave a deep technical view. He said while the fight may look close on the surface, there are key differences. He pointed to Canelo's recent fight with Jermell Charlo, where Canelo struggled against smart movement and footwork. Thurman believes Crawford, who is even more strategic than Charlo, could cause more trouble for Canelo.
And, you know, we ain't getting punched in the face, so let's just watch the show and enjoy, people. You know what I'm saying? Let's just watch what these champions do. No matter what they do, they're both great. They're both going to continue to be great, but by the end of the day, one will be above the other.
Your eyes?
It's not like, I think a lot of people are going to lean towards Canelo. I don't want to say it's like, I feel like for the fans, it's coming off 50-50. Like it's hard for me to really commit, because this is what happened, right? When Canelo just fought the Charlo, right? When he just fought Charlo, he knocked Charlo down. But after he knocked Charlo down and Charlo was using ring movement, he never hit Charlo with another big shot, okay? This is what Keith Thurman is watching. I'm not saying like, oh, Canelo didn't do good. Like, Canelo dominated. That fight, he dominated, right? But let's just pay attention to little details, right? After he got dropped, he never got hurt again. Why, you ask? Why did Canelo not hurt him again? Oh, because he was on his bike, because he was using lateral movement, because he was watching with his eyes, and because he was being, you know, attentive with his defense, and he was able to make Canelo miss, but he was not able to make him pay.